Welcome everyone. My name is Monica. I am a tarot reader and astrologer based in Cairns, Australia. And in today's video I am doing a review and a flip through of the Dark Goddess Tarot. This is a tarot deck created by an artist by the name of Ellen Lorenzi-Prince. And the copy that I will be using for the flip through and using throughout this video is what I believe is called the Indie edition. I got this from the artist's website. I don't think that this is any longer in print. However, you can get a reprint of it, which was mass published by Schiffer Publishing around 2020, and I also think that comes with a guidebook. In many ways, it is a bit intimidating for me to do a review of this deck, because to me, this tarot deck holds so much power and potency. This is not a superficial or a light type of deck. However, the name Dark Goddess shouldn't put you off if you think that it means some sort of evil or negative force. On the contrary, I have found that working with this deck brings the sort of power that in turn empowers you in your own life. No, it is not superficial. It's not all light and love, but neither is life. It is one of my top tarot decks in terms of asking the sort of questions that go beyond the day-to-day, mundane, pragmatic questions, which are all valid questions in their own right when we ask about work, our relationships, our children, whether to buy this particular house or the one next door, or any of the other millions of questions that we want answers to on a day-to-day basis. However, to me at least, this tarot deck is the sort of deck that you use to explore particular issues or questions that are more spiritual in nature, if I can use that word. They're the sort of questions that you want answers that illuminate who you are and what fears you might hold inside that you want to bring to light and explore. The Dark Goddess Tarot highlights or showcases 78 goddesses from across the world, from different cultures, and they are goddesses that are not necessarily easy or superficial, or they're not the right words. I'm thinking of words like powerful. You know, they hold so much power, they're fearsome. Some of them can be very, very scary when you see the image itself, perhaps, or when you read what that goddess is actually about, or what the message surrounding that particular goddess is. Okay, they are also intense and might make you feel uncomfortable working with it. But as I've alluded to earlier, our lives aren't just a constant stream of happiness. If anything, I'm sure I could make a good argument that our current modern lives are in many ways, well, while they might be easier in some ways than our ancestors, easy in the ways of material goods that we have, and easy in the physical effort we might have to put in, they are equally or even more challenging in terms of us trying to find deep meaning and connection to not just to each other, but to spirit, to something greater than all of us. So it is a deck that I highly recommend, but I feel like it comes with that little sort of disclaimer at the bottom, not to be treated lightly, not to be treated superficially. I personally recommend working with this deck one goddess at a time, working with that particular goddess through ritual, through offering, through tailored tarot spreads, where you get to explore her energy but also we get to develop a bond with that goddess. Okay, I'm not sure I can offer any other way that I have found a meaningful way to work with this deck. That has been the way that I've worked, and I believe that the artist does recommend that in the little booklet that comes with it. So this deck, when you open it up, the box is very sturdy in this edition, and it does come with a little booklet that has this beautiful paradox of not saying much, yet at the same time saying everything that you need to know. I feel like Ellen has distilled or condensed the energy and the meaning of each goddess down to just one sentence, or at most 2 sentences. I'm serious, there's actually nothing else written about the goddesses other than, you know, what type of goddess they were in their particular culture, and then there is like a succinct one-liner about that goddess. So I'm gonna have a look, and you know, here's an example. The Ten of Air is Erinye. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. So she is the Greek goddess of punishment, and the message that goes with that is endure it or end it. And that's it. I love that personally. Another one, Hag of Air, is Dhumavati, who is the Hindu widow goddess. Okay, so she is the goddess that represents widows, those who have lost their husband. The message for that is, what appears unlucky becomes something sacred. And I love that, because I feel like the message that the artist has chosen, it sort of opens the doors or provides that initial guiding point, and then it's up to you to explore that, to go further, to go into depth with it when you work with that particular goddess. So I'm not sure that I can describe this deck anymore. If I had to choose certain keywords for it, there would be potency, it's a potent deck, intensity, sacredness. There would also be keywords such as uncomfortable. Okay, I'm trying to find the right words for it, because it's not the easiest deck. In our culture there's so much light and love, and I know that's well intended and there's a lot of good meaning behind that, but as anyone who has gone through some difficult life experience will know and understand, number one, that is part of life. Each and every one of us will be challenged and tested at some point. We will have to make difficult choices in line with who we truly are and our core values. And those particular experiences, as difficult, painful, or unpleasant as they might be, are also what gives us depth as a human being. They might make us more, or give us more empathy towards other people, because we understand their pain when they're going through difficult circumstances. They will give us understanding and compassion, and they will also give us power if they are acknowledged, and if they're given the right space to be processed and to be brought to light. If there are any fears surrounding particular difficult circumstances, bringing those fears to light and understanding them and facing them, and not just burying it under the carpet or just ignoring it or pretending everything is light and love and life. Well, I'm sorry, it isn't. And certain times we have to hold that energy. By all means, hold that torch of positive vision for our humanity. That fire must never be extinguished. But I feel like this deck gives space and power and substance for us to explore those circumstances in our lives that demand that level of honesty and that level of acknowledgement. Okay, so with that in mind, I will now do a flip through of all 78 cards, and I thank you very much for watching. I hope I've provided somewhat of a guide or an insight as to how I have found this deck or what I feel about it. Every tarot deck is a subjective experience. I understand that, and this is just my personal experience working with this deck. Thank you. Thank you for watching.